Hello, welcome back. If you want to ask me questions and have some comments, I ask you to go to rsbcopstories@gmail.com and I'll answer the questions as best I can. Okay? Thank you very much. Now, this story involves a investigation, or really a radio call. I was working patrol. I had a recruit with me from the academy. I had about 7 years on. I'm a trained officer. Anyway, 7 in the morning, we get on the road, we get a radio call, unknown trouble. Now, unknown trouble calls are really strange. The officers that watch this will know. People that called gave so many conflicting statements and stuff that the girl at the communications center can't figure it out, so she puts it out, unknown trouble. It just basically gives the call off to a police officer. So we get there, beautiful home up in the hills, and with a driveway leading up to a house that's kind of on a half acre. And there's a couple standing on the curb, and they're in their probably early 40s, I guess. And so a man and a woman. And we get out, of course, they're a little bit distraught, and I said, what's going on? And she says, well, we haven't heard from our parents for 2 days, and the front door, we went to the front door and it's unlocked and open and we're afraid to go in. Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, that's good thinking. You don't want to go in there in case you're going to see or experience really bad things. So they ran down the driveway and they called the police. So, okay, fine. So I told my recruit, go get a backup here just in case, but we're going to go up there and see what's going on. So this is the days before. Nowadays, because of the danger and also change of philosophy, officers don't do anything on their own anymore. They call backup. There's 6 cops to stop a car. I mean, come on, really. But anyway, so I'm an old school guy. So we walk up the driveway, and I told him on the way up, I said, okay, that we could have suspects in there. We could have all kinds of stuff going on. So let's get our guns out and let's make sure we go in safely. So we go in. Go in the front door, quiet house, beautiful home, single story, maybe 3,000 square feet, really nice. We go in, impeccable house. Nice furniture. I mean, just really a nice home, and it's an older person's home. You can tell because you smell like, cleansers and, diapers and not diapers, but the smell of older people. You can tell. You get some years on the department, you can figure this out. We're going to the living room, and laying on the couch is a man completely perfectly dressed, older gentleman in his 70s, bow tie. He's got a pistol in his hand, and it's on his chest. He's got a bullet hole the size of a $50 on one side of the head, and the other side's gone. It's into the couch. So he's dead, obviously. And so I look at my partner, and he's kind of like new at this, and I was in Vietnam, so this is no big deal to me. So I told him, I give him signals, follow me. So we go back to we're looking at another room, empty room, real quiet now. Go another room, empty room. Go to the third room. On the floor is another 75-year-old man-ish, 75-ish, laying on his back on the floor, impeccably dressed, wool pants, nice check shirt, the age-appropriate clothing for the people of that age. He's got a bullet hole in his head, okay? And that's really strange. No gun, okay? So, oh boy. So we walk out, and I'm telling my partner, okay, somebody just killed somebody in here, okay? Fine. I'm not a genius to figure that out. So we go down the curve, and they're still there, and the backup has arrived. And I go, and my supervisor arrives, and I asked the couple down there, is there anybody else in the house? And they go, well, there's my parents in their 70s, and then a boarding gentleman that's in his 70s. Okay, fine. What's going on? Well, we're still checking. I don't want to tell them that. So we go up the walkway with my supervisor and 2 other officers, and I go, okay, I was in charge now, so I go, you 2 guys need to guard the door. There's 2 dead people in there, probably a homicide, suicide. So and they go, whoa. And the sergeant says, what else you got? I said, well, we're looking for the lady of the house, and they said there's a garage, detached garage with a bathroom. So I go, let's go. He goes, let's go. So we go in there and walk in the garage, careful, open the bathroom door, and there she is, sitting on the pot, panties down to her below her knees, with a bullet in her head. Okay, an interesting scenario here. Okay, so by that time, a lieutenant pulls up because something's amiss here. The radio call went out, and so we're doing log entries, we're doing paperwork, and then I go to now. I know what it's like to be a supervisor. I became one later, but not now. And I tell my supervisor, he goes in the house, and I show him, and then we come out, and he says, I look at him, and I go, well, somebody's going to have to tell them. He goes, well, that's my job. It's the supervisor's job. So we go down the stairs, and of course, you tell them that, there's 3 people. First we tell them who's in the house. We tell them what we have. Does this match what you say is in the house? Yes, my mother, my father, and a boarding friend. What are their ages? Got a full description. Everything matches. And he tells them, well, it appears that there was a shooting and all 3 parties have passed. Because there's no waiting around for paramedics. I mean, these people are dead, okay? And so Oh my gosh, of course I mean, they're horrible. They're devastated, of course. Okay, so they're hugging on each other, and then a captain pulls up and on our department. In the this is a weekend actually. We're gonna back up. On the weekends, most of our captains are off, and then they have what they have a officer of the day. It's like the military. You have a captain that drives around the city in case he needs to be called for things like this, or a pursuit or something important. So he walks up, and of course he's asking administrative questions like, "Did we do a log? Are we talking to these people? Are we writing down who shows up and all that?" Which is fine. That's his job. He's an office guy. He's not a street cop. And then he comes up to my supervisor and he fills him in. Then he comes to me, and then he asks, "Well, do you think, as a supervisor, do you think it's safe for us to go in the house, or are we going to contaminate a crime scene?" That's a good question. Okay, and the sergeant had been on the job 28 years. Okay, he says no, because this isn't a homicide in the sense of the word homicide. It is a homicide, but it's not like somebody broke into your house and while you're home, they blew you away and did all kinds of weird stuff. This is a very sterile environment. I mean, there's not anything disturbed. This is we call it an inside job in the police stories, okay? So that's fine. So he didn't want to go in. He just walked around and looked in the windows and stuff. Okay, fine. And then we sit around for hours. Detectives show up, homicide detectives show up. They're in there, and we're all standing around. And of course, by now the couple has gone in and with the detectives, and they identify their parents. What a sad thing to do. And identify the guy, other boarder, call him, and they come out, and and of course they're making phone calls to friends to see about what to do with this, and the coroner pulls up, and because I go the coroner, and I go, "What's the coroner for?" Because if you're an older person and you have a doctor to sign you off, you don't need a coroner. There's no inquest. It's just old people are taken care of by doctors. They pass away, the doctor signs off the slip, and the body's transported to the funeral home, and that's the end of it. That's it. There's no coroner involved here, okay? So the detectives come over, and I go, "Oh, what's going on?" And they know me. We know each other by first name basis. They go, "Well, here's what we think happened. We think that the boarder," remember now, this is 75-year-old people. Nothing against their ability to do anything sexually, but they think that the boarder, here it comes, was having an affair with the wife of the head of the household, the two kids, dad and mom. The mom was having an affair with the boarder. That makes sense? Okay. So dad found out. It's Sunday morning. They think they're all getting ready to go to church. They're all dressed up. And so the dad goes into the bedroom with the boarder, puts a bullet in his head, 357 Magnum, walks to the garage, blows away his wife, then lays on the couch and kills himself. Okay. What I didn't understand is when we walked in, because I asked him this, we walked in and the shooter, we'll call him, the husband, he's laying perfectly in bed, perfect position, fully dressed. The gun is right, I don't know if the camera can get it, the gun's right, it's not this high up, but it's like more around on his belly, okay? It's sitting like this, like somebody posed him. Really weird. I go, what about that? When I walked in, I saw that, I said, oh, somebody shot him and put the gun in his hand. Maybe I watched too much TV, and even the officers watch crime shows. But anyway, and I thought maybe he had been staged because it looked really pristine. It's just like somebody did it there. And he goes, no. So we dusted the gun. It's clean except for his prints. And the kids verified he had a gun. That gun was his gun, so it's not a stranger's gun. And he said, believe it or not, he told me that things like that happen. They've had it happen in the past. And when he goes like this, it goes boom. And of course, like everybody knows, when you fire a gun, your grip is tight. And so he fired the gun, and you don't die instantly. This isn't television where it takes a little bit to die. People tell you that you don't die quickly. I have a lady here that's an expert behind the camera. It takes a while. People writhe, people move, people groan. So just with a headshot, even though it's a headshot, the body still moves and convulses, and there's movement. And this, he says, this most of the time, it falls here or down the groin, but it stays in the hand and it falls somewhere along the body line, with natural, can't go way up here because the muscles won't do that, but the natural spot it would fall. And this is where it fell, pretty much straight over from his, the shot, and then it came back down and he's laying there. And I only had 7 years on, but I was a new one for me. I didn't think that could do that. But he says, oh, it happens all the time. And they just shrug a lot. No big deal. Weird. Okay, so that's the story. Let me tell you the little thing at the end. Some officers are kind of cold-blooded here. We got a couple officers standing at the bottom of the driveway, and we're finishing up this investigation. Garage door is up. This is 1979. There's a pristine '68 Chevy Malibu in the garage. I'm talking mid-condition. And of course, we've been looking the whole time on in the cars and stuff. Well, this one officer, everybody has their own interests. He happened to look he had his flashlight, he looked at the odometer, and we're down there. And so he says, after all this is over, we're just about ready to leave, and he goes, hey, that car's pristine condition. I go, yeah. He goes, it's only got 6,000 miles on it. He goes, I wonder if they'd be bad to go give him an offer on the car. I go, are you kidding me? He goes, well, what are they going to do with the car? They'll probably auction it. They don't know the value, but I could get a pretty good deal. Man, I'll tackle you if you're going to do that. Do not walk up to people that just found out 3 hours ago that their parents are dead, and you want to see if you can give them a deal on the car. He goes, oh, I guess not. You guess not. You're a police officer. You pass psychology exams. That's one you would fail. Okay, you have no heart. So that's cop humor, and that's what happens. So anyway, so that's the story, and I appreciate you listening to me, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.